Hey there! As you know, the QIDI 3D printer brought my joy of 3D printing back. I was so impressed with the speed and quality of prints of my QIDI X+3 that I was confident enough to start my own puzzle shop. Now the QIDI doubled the positive experience. I'm happy to present you the QIDI Q1 PRO. It has a sleek design, the speed is up to 600 mm per second, print size is 245 by 245 by 245, even though it is written 250 by 250 on the magnetic build plate. The Q1 Pro has a heated chamber if you print other materials than PLA. I print PLA only, so I didn't have a chance to test the heated chamber. The built-in Wi-Fi allows you to control the Q1 Pro from your computer. I already completely forgot how it was to run with a flash drive from my computer to my old Ender 3 each time when I want to print something new. Now I can slice all the projects on my computer, hit the print button, and the project will start printing immediately on the machine. The Q1 Pro has all kinds of sensors to ensure that your prints will be done in maximum possible quality, such as filament tangle detection, run-out sensor, automatic leveling, and resonance compensation. Q1 Pro is equipped with a camera. Now you can see what is happening inside of your machine from your computer. Camera quality is up to 1080p, but I'll be honest, the quality isn't that high so that you can make a time-lapse video of your project for YouTube video, for example. Lighting situation inside the machine isn't good for filming either. It is perfect for everyday use. For example, if you print during the night and you want to see what is happening inside your machine. But if you want to film a 3D printing process, it's better to add more lights. Q1 Pro comes already assembled. You just have to plug it to the electricity, turn on the machine, and follow the instructions on the display. You'll have to unscrew some screws, cut some zip ties, do auto bed leveling and input shaping. Now the machine is ready to print. A new feature was presented in the Q1 Pro, automatic nozzle cleaning device. Yeah, you guessed it correct. It cleans the nozzle every time you start printing something, and it produces a small amount of poop, which is stored in a small container inside the machine. I was actually very excited when I saw the nozzle cleaning device, since I thought the QIDI is planning to add the AMS to the Q1 Pro. Turns out I was wrong. This feature was implemented for more accurate leveling. If there is a filament on the nozzle, it may cause errors in leveling. So they add the nozzle cleaning system to increase their quality of prints. And the quality is on the highest level in the Q1 Pro. Every time you start new print, the machine does a bed leveling procedure. It is much faster than on my X+3, and it makes sense to do it, unlike on my X+3. I found out that when I turn off the bed leveling before printing on my X+3, it saves me about 3 to 5 minutes, and it doesn't affect the print quality. If I turn off the bed leveling in the Q1 Pro, I can see a little bit of a difference in the first layer. Seems like the machine compensates the level difference on the build plate when the bed leveling is on, and uses some kind of average bed level stored in the memory when you turn the bed leveling off. But in both cases, it produces high quality prints with a little bit of a difference in the first layer. I'm using the Q1 Pro for a month now, and I had 0 failed prints. After using my X+3 for over 6 months, I still have issues with the first layer sometimes. But I usually fix it by cleaning the magnetic build plate with soap and water like once in a week. I've never cleaned the magnetic build plate on the Q1 Pro in a month, and it still prints perfectly well. It is so good that I can just hit the start button and go do other stuff without even worrying about the adhesion of the first layer. If you bought puzzles in my Etsy store in the last 30 days, there is a chance you got a puzzle that was printed on Q1 Pro. It is so good that it is running along with my X+3 to fulfill all orders in my Etsy store. I even use it a little bit more than the X+3, since I can just hit the start button and go to the gym, for example, and never worry that the project will fail in the mid-print. But the Q1 Pro has its own quirks as well, such as filament change. There is no button for filament change on the screen. You have to hit one of these buttons with the temperature, and then there is a replace filament button. You hit it, choose the temperature, push next, and here is the quirky part. The machine shows you an animated image which states that you have to cut the filament. My first thought was that I have to cut the filament next to the spool, since it is the only place where you can see it. But it will be a big waste of filament. Turns out you have to unplug the tube right on top of the nozzle and cut the filament here, which is totally weird. I'm wondering how quickly I will break the tube or the connector. As you can see, my Q1 Pro is sitting on a high cabinet, and that means that it's not easy to access the top part of the nozzle. So I found another way how to remove the filament. You just hit one of these buttons, then you preheat the nozzle and hit this button. It's much easier and quicker. I don't have to disconnect the tube and cut filament, but you have to make sure that you pull out the filament right away or the melted filament can get stuck between gears and you have to disassemble the nozzle to clean it. QIDI always chooses the weirdest place to put the spool of filament. X+3 has a spool holder on the back side of the printer. That means you have to leave at least 20-30 centimeters behind the machine to change filament. But you can remove the spool holder and put it on the desk next to the printer. Q1 Pro has this extended lever for the spool. Now you have to leave extra 20-30 centimeters on the left side of the machine. I wish they placed the spool on top or one of the sides of the machine. I'm sure somebody will come up with the design of the spool rack that can be placed on the side of the machine. But those are minor things that don't affect the quality of prints. Take a look at these two puzzles. They were both printed using Q1 Pro. As you can see, the quality is quite high. The layer lines are nice and consistent, and the puzzle works perfectly well. Everything moves nice and smooth, so the printing quality is just awesome. This is, by the way, the ginormous Zigo flat puzzle. You can buy it in my Etsy store. It is actually quite fun for puzzle parties and meetings with friends. The second puzzle is the Unlawful Assembly, a new puzzle in my Etsy store. It was designed by Pitcam Go. The goal of the puzzle here is to fit all 5 parts, including the cross, into the frame. As you can see, the quality is quite high. All the parts were printed on a QIDI Q1 Pro, and the frame was printed on a QIDI Q1 Pro as well. I actually printed 4 of these black parts at the same time. It was just enough space to print 4 of them, and then I printed 4 of these bronze color parts. As you can see, the quality is quite high again. The layer lines are consistent and it looks very nice and high quality. The price of the new QIDI Q1 Pro will be $599 US, but there will be also an early bird price, which is $469 US. A link to the new QIDI Q1 Pro will be in the video description. QIDI totally changed my way of thinking about 3D printer. Their printers are reliable and affordable. Customer service is very helpful as well. I had an issue with my X+3, but with the help of customer service, it was fixed very quickly. I'll keep using both of my QIDI printers to fulfill all orders in my Etsy store. Thank you for watching my video. See you in the next one.